Dan,
George.
how are you?
Blessed, brother, blessed. How are you?
Blessed, brother, blessed. Living the dream, as
Yes,
you always say. Living the dream.
I think that might get that tattooed on me. Living the dream.
What, your first tattoo?
Yeah.
Do it, bro.
Living the
Wait,
dream.
actually do it. Actually do it. Where would you put it, though?
On my arm, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, because then I can see it every day. And then, like, if one day I wake up and think I'm not living the dream, I can look and go, oh, wait, I'm living the dream.
Very true. No, that's actually why I got mine.
Oh, yeah.
Have hope, faith, trust, and believe. For
Yeah.
that exact reason. So do it. And you said you did the left side. Do it.
Yeah, the left
Wait,
side.
actually do it. I'm gonna hold you to this.
Okay.
Genuinely do it.
Do it.
All right, bet.
Plus, I really like your tattoo. Have hope, faith, trust, and believe.
Thank you.
Talk to me about that.
It's a saying that my mum's always told me. I actually remember when she used to say it to me as a kid when we were going through like real struggles. She was like, always have hope, faith, trust, and believe that we'll get to the other side of it. So it's always ingrained. And thank you, Mum, for always sending me that positive message every time we were going through a hardship. But yeah, how has your week been, Dan?
It's been good, man.
Hey, you did something exciting, which I really want you to tell the people.
I did. On Wednesday, I went up to Barnsley and recorded a podcast up there. It took me 4.5 hours to get up there, which is the only annoying thing. But so worth it. So it was the Tom Talks podcast. Quite a big platform, quite a big podcast. Mm-hmm. And I kind of opened up about my struggles of addiction and all things like that. So it comes out on September 12th. Mm-hmm. I think September 12th or 13th for the Sunday. But hopefully it helps a lot of people and shines a bit of light on kind of addiction and struggles and how to bounce back. That's kind of the main message I wanted to put in. That is, you can go through it and it feel like shit all the time, but you can bounce back. So, yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. Yes, then. I'm actually really excited to see that when it comes out. And do you know what? That's very relevant. I don't know if you meant that, but it's very, very relevant to today's episode. So today's episode is all about sobriety and addiction and bouncing back. Literally what you just said there. And today's guest goes by the name of Natasha Peacock. She's also known as the ClearHeadClub. And what the ClearHeadClub is basically a sobriety club to help people go on their sobriety journey, give as much support to anyone that's going through it, and also to kind of shine a new light on life.
What's exciting, George, with this one is that obviously I've been through addiction myself and you don't drink and you've been sober for 4, nearly 5 years now.
Indeed.
So we're going to dive into a lot of topics that both of us can relate to, and we're going to find out about Tasha's story. So I'm really excited.
Super excited. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode.
What was the early days like for you?
Yeah. I grew up in Eastbourne, just down the road.
Nice.
Yeah. I am one of 3 siblings. I've got 2 younger brothers, and I suppose why I'm just about to go into that is because so my story is I am 8 years sober from drug and alcohol addiction, and I've got 2 younger brothers that can drink absolutely normally. So a lot of the questions that I get asked by people is like, where do you think it comes from? Addiction? Is it the way that you were brought up? Is it just a part of you, or past trauma, stuff like that? And I always say I don't think it's got anything to do. Although I was brought up in an era where drinking and heavy drinking was completely normal, and it was normal within my family as well, within the household, and other family members. It was normal to be in pubs. I'm 40 years old now, so your parents would go into a pub and then you'd play with the other pub kids, and we were like, it was just normal for us. But yeah, I've got 2 younger brothers who, one of them just chooses not to drink, a bit like yourself, George. He's like, what's the point in drinking at Christmas and then getting a hangover? Like, I'm not even into it. Yeah. So he likes to concentrate like on his wellness and his gym and stuff like that. So he's just like, oh, take it or leave it. I'd just rather not drink. And then my youngest brother, he's like one of those that I don't get them. He's one of those that can just have one drink. I'm like,
How have you done
That's
that?
hard,
on
yeah.
earth are you having just one drink and then not going berserk with it? Like, how are you not ruining your life after you've just had one drink? But he can just have one drink and then get on with his life. So, yeah, I don't know where addiction comes from. I don't know why I ended up an addict and where I was. But yeah, it's who I am, and that's really why I'm here, why I've started, my own podcast and do everything that I'm doing with the ClearHeadClub, which I founded last year, because of such a shit time in my life, addiction, somewhere I thought I would never ever get out of. It was hell. I was living in hell every single day, but I didn't know how to change and I didn't think it was possible. So being able to get out of that, I do everything I do now because I want to show other people who may be going through the same thing, that it is very much possible and you can come out of it and live just an amazing life.
That is beautiful.
That is beautiful.
I mean, genuinely though,
Yeah.
because from my point of view, I've struggled with addiction in myself, not drugs, not alcohol. I had a long duration of my life that was revolving around gambling addiction.
Yeah.
And I go to GA meetings every week, constantly there, and coming up to the year mark of being sober for that. So that's
well done,
incredible.
love.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Amazing.
I'm intrigued by when you realised it was an issue and what that kind of moment was like for you. What did you do next?
I used to drink like with family, I used to drink with friends, and I used to drink alone. So I was just constantly drinking. But me and my mum, we used to drink together and we'd laugh and say, yeah, we know we're alcoholics, but we don't care. And so I think for a long time, I knew that alcohol was very important to me, that I drank more than other people, but I really I didn't see it as a problem or an issue. It was like, bad things were happening. It was affecting my relationships. My life really was going nowhere. I wasn't living a good life, but I didn't care. I wanted to hold on to the alcohol. And then when you don't make changes, life is going to do that for you. And life was getting worse and worse, and the things that were happening were getting worse as well. So like dangerous situations, drink driving. I've got 2 children. I would put the children to bed at night and wake up the next day and not remember having put them to bed at night. And there was loads of other stuff that happened, embarrassing situations where, you wake up and you're like, I'm never drinking again, only to drink again, like a couple of days later in my case. And so I first ever stopped drinking when I was 30 years old. I think at around the age of maybe 28, 29, when life was really bad and I just felt like absolute shit all the time. I couldn't hold down a job. I couldn't hold down a relationship. I felt almost suicidal, but the only thing that was keeping me alive was the kids. And I used to think I wouldn't ever do anything to jeopardise them kids, to hurt them kids. I wouldn't ever leave them, but if I died, it would be a good thing. I don't want to be here anymore. But I just couldn't put 2 and 2 together, that the alcohol and the drugs that I was taking, because it wasn't just alcohol, it was drugs as well, speed and coke, were accelerating everything that was bad in my life. It was throwing like gasoline on the flames of my already like burning existence. And so, yeah, life just got worse and worse. And then in 2017, I hit, for me, is my rock bottom that I wouldn't want to get any lower from. And it was a 3-day bender that I had with family members, which I did often. To me, it was normal. There wasn't anything wrong with drinking excessively with my family, with my children there. In my head, I thought, well, my kids are safe. We love them. They're at home. Like, I wouldn't have thought that there was a problem at all. My kids, I put my kids to bed, they're in bed asleep, and I'm doing drugs downstairs. What's the problem? That's in my head what I was thinking. I couldn't see the danger in it. I couldn't see, anything wrong in that at all. It was just completely normal. So January 2017, I was already just living a life that I absolutely hated. And I was on this 3-day bender. So the Thursday night, the Friday night, the Saturday night, drinking, smoking, doing drugs. And on the Sunday morning, I think it was at about 5, 6 a.m., somebody said, does anyone want an ecstasy tablet? I'd already, like I said, I've been drinking all weekend, I've been doing coke all weekend, and I was like, yeah, I'll take one. I just had absolutely no care for myself, no total disregard for anything, no sense whatsoever. And so I took an ecstasy tablet. The children were upstairs in bed. And then I thought at some point during that morning, I best try and get some sleep. Went upstairs. Of course, I couldn't get any sleep with all of that the drugs in my system. And I just laid there waiting for the kids to wake up and was completely numb of any feelings whatsoever, apart from this horrific, crushing feeling of dread, of self-hatred, of dread. Everything just felt horrible. I just didn't want to be me anymore. And then my daughter, who was 2 at the time, just a baby, a toddler, woke up, and I followed her around the house just like a zombie. I couldn't even walk properly, so as she was going down the stairs, I was going down the stairs like on my bum. And I sat down in the living room at some point and realised that she wasn't with me, and dragged myself up off the sofa, went to go and find her, and I found her sitting in the kitchen playing with some toys in the area that for three nights we had been drinking and taking drugs and smoking in. And in that moment, a feeling hit me like a lightning bolt that I had never had before. I'd had loads of times where I thought I never want to drink again, which was, but that wasn't real. This time, seeing her there, it hit me, and I sobered up instantly, and I saw her just in the middle of my chaos, the chaos that I had caused. And I just thought, this isn't the life that I want for you or me or my son. I went over to her, I picked her up, I took her outside, and I just, there could have been anything in that room. She could have picked something up. Thankfully, she didn't. There was nothing there. But just knowing that could have been a possibility, and even if it weren't, that is not the life that my children should be living. Nobody deserves that life. So me then changing from there, I believe, I know, has changed the trajectory, not just of my life, but my children's lives forever. Because if I hadn't have changed and things would have just got worse and worse and situations like that were happening, well, they would be on a completely different life path as well, with a completely different mother. And so from that day, that scared me. It scared the life out of me, and I said I'm never drinking again. And I managed to stay sober for 5 months, but I wasn't completely ready, and I relapsed. And then it took me a full year of getting sober, relapse, get sober and relapse to finally get sober again. It was a real struggle, but I never gave up, because that's when I knew that's not the life that I want. And the only way I can live a happy, healthy life and know that I am safe and the best mum, the best person that I can be, is if I never drink again. And so, it took me a year, and then I got sober, and here I am now.
Wow.
So it's a very long answer to your question.
No, but that took me, like, when you were saying that, I froze for a minute, because I could kind of picture it all happening in my head, and I genuinely got goosebumps, because those moments are so important in people's lives.
Yeah.
And it happens to a lot of people. Like, they go through life, but some people don't change.
Yeah.
And I'm quite curious, when you're relapsing, I've relapsed quite a few times over the last 6 to 9 years, something like that.
Yeah.
When I knew it was the time to really stop, in my eyes, it felt very different to all the other times I'd stopped previously.
Yeah.
I'm curious, when the last time you drank was, what was different about that time compared to all the other times?
I think acceptance. So when I gave up that first time, it was because, I was scared by what had happened, by my behaviour, the position that I'd put the children in. So I wasn't quite ready, but I scared myself into, I'm never drinking again. And I really did mean it. But I still hadn't accepted that actually I'm never going to drink again. And I was still very resentful. So that was in the January. By the time it got to, so it was 5 months, and then I relapsed, I would see photos of people like on Instagram, like in beer gardens with their Prosecco, and I would literally think, fuck you, I don't want to see that. Like, I wanted it to be me. I wanted to be sat there with a Prosecco, and I would have those thoughts of, oh, why me? Why can't I drink? And then the voice inside my head of, oh, but maybe you can, you know, if you've managed to give up for this long, you're probably not an alcoholic. You could probably drink normally now, even though I'd had like a good 15 years of proof that I couldn't.
Yeah.
Well, just try again. And so, yeah, I think, and all those relapses to me at the time, yeah, they felt like a failure. It felt absolutely awful having to reset my sober counter to day one, and you feel like you've undone all of the progress. But actually, looking back, they were part of my journey. I needed that. I needed to keep learning more lessons. I had to keep on proving to myself that no, you can't do it. That's not the life you want anymore. And you know, even now, I'm like 8.5 years sober. I know I'm one drink away from that person, from that life. I know, and it's absolute acceptance. And the last time I ever drank was on a plane home from Thailand. I was with my daughter, my ex-partner, her dad. He's from Thailand, so we were visiting his family. And I drank on that holiday, and I took a sober book with me, and it was like so ironic, just sitting in Thailand on a beach reading a sober book. I took a photo of it. I put it on my Instagram, hashtagged it sober, and I'm drinking a Long Island iced tea or whatever they are, anything that I could find with like the most alcohol in it, and I knew then, about 2 months before that last time I drank, that when I got back from Thailand, that was it. And so I think I had that time to prepare, and I just got it in my head, and I just knew. You know, when people say like, I just knew, but how did you? I just did. And that's it. I just knew I'm never going to drink again. That is it. When I get back from Thailand, that's my day one, and that was it. So I think it was like preparing. I didn't just wake up one day and go, right, that's it, tomorrow is day one. I had time to get my head around it, and it was just the acceptance as well.
I think that's a really good way to look at it. I actually relate to that in my own journey as well, because I tried to stop in January last year, and I ended up doing the spiel of like, okay, I'm gonna stop, blah blah blah. I think I said to my mum at the time, I can't do this anymore. I can't like, this has to be eradicated from my life, because I can't keep doing this anymore. But lo and behold, I'd got to that stage, but I hadn't got to the stage where it was actually the acceptance, like in practice, I mean. So I was still going through the habits of it every day, and I'm still being around it all the time. So then it built up for a few months, and then I knew. I just knew. It's so weird. The toughest thing was but other people didn't believe that I was actually going to stop at the time.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing for me. It was the trust. It was like, are you saying it, or are you doing it now? Like, which one is it? So it's interesting. Did you use anything or gain any support when you were stopping? What was that kind of network around you like at that time?
Yeah, we were. I was speaking to Holly actually on the train about this on the way up. When I first stopped, in fact, it wasn't when I first stopped. About 6 months before I hit that rock bottom, I would look at Instagram profiles, people who were like in sobriety, like sober pages. And 8 years ago, there wasn't that many. But I didn't openly follow them, because I didn't want anybody to see that I was openly following like sober pages, because I didn't want to like out myself as the alcoholic I am.
Or was.
Yeah. Well,
Was.
I still call myself an alcoholic, because I think, you know, I'm not practicing. Okay. Yeah. Because if I affirm that I'm not an alcoholic anymore, then that to me is like a green light to then drink. Well, I'm not alcoholic anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So I still affirm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting because just to touch on that,
Yeah.
we discuss about it quite a lot, and it's like it's quite powerful to say stuff like that to yourself out loud, or even to another person, because like your mind doesn't know if you're saying that. Well, your mind always goes, "Oh, you're telling the truth." So if I go, "Oh, I'm ugly," your mind goes, "Yeah, no, yeah, true,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so
Yeah,
true,
let's
yeah."
find the proof.
But then you're doing that in a different way, where you're saying, "No, I'm still an alcoholic, but like I'm so past it now." So that's quite interesting because not many people do that.
In like the GA meetings, we have to state at the start, I'm a compulsive gambler.
Yeah.
And I struggled with that to begin with because I don't practice that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have been a compulsive gambler with the way I've lived my life. I don't live that way, but I know I have to take it one day at a time, and I have to be aware that it's not resolved. It's the whole thing is not fixed just because I'm not doing it. I'm just one thing away. And I think I've wrestled with that for a while, but coming to the acceptance of, okay, I can say it, but it doesn't mean I'm doing it, if that makes sense. I have that ability to do it. And that's what I need to be aware of.
And I guess with that then, yeah, you can say to yourself, I'm a compulsive gambler, I'm an alcoholic, but then you can also shut that completely down straight away and go, I used to be. Like you can say it out loud and be like, yeah, I'm one step away to potentially going back to where I was. It goes back to what you're saying, like one drink away, it could take you straight back to 15 years ago. But you could also instantly shut that down and go, yeah, I used to be.
Yeah.
Like I'm an alcoholic, but I used to be.
Yeah.
If that
I
makes
think,
sense.
it's not one box fits all, is it? It's
Yeah.
whatever works for you.
Yeah.
And like, so for example, like in AA, they'll use one day at a time.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I find it more empowering myself to affirm I'll never drink again. Some people find that overwhelming and they're like, oh my God, never. It just sounds too much. I love that. I love saying I'll never, ever drink again. That to me is more empowering than one day at a time. Yeah. And I also, again, I find empowerment by saying, if someone says to me, why don't you drink? I have absolutely no issue in saying I'm an alcoholic. I'll always be an alcoholic. I'm just in remission. I'm just not practicing anymore. Yeah.
Does it feel good to say that now?
Yeah.
I bet it does, yeah.
Yeah, because, at one time that was my shameful secret. That was something that I hid away and I held on to and it festered inside of me and I didn't want anyone to know. And oh my God, it's so shameful and it can't be me. But now I'm like, no, that's a part of who I am. I've worked so hard to better myself, leave that behind me. It was one of the hardest things that I've ever done, but it was one of the best. In fact, not one of the best things. It is the best thing I have ever done in my life. I had nothing to be proud of before, apart from my kids, who I was failing whilst I was drinking, because that came before everything else, although I couldn't see it. I had nothing to be proud of, and now I've got so much to be proud of, and that is literally because I stopped drinking. People worry so much about, oh my God, what am I going to do if I don't drink? What do you do for fun if you don't drink? It's like fucking anything else
do anything
in the world other than drink. But I get it, because that's I held on to that. That's what I used to think. Oh my God, I was living the shittest life. I was so depressed, and I thought it might get worse if I stopped drinking. If only I knew.
Only you knew. Well, you know now. You had to go through that long lesson, that unfortunate long lesson, to be who you are today and spread the positive message that you're doing now.
Yeah.
And ClearHeadClub wouldn't be a thing if you didn't go through that, and now you're, changing people's lives, which is...
Yeah.
We're going to get to that, because I can't wait to speak about that, because that's a beautiful thing that you're doing. But I kind of want to go back to the simple question that you said about the support network. Obviously, you said you grew up in a household where drinking was like the norm, which is fine. A lot of households is the same. My household was very similar. My mum used to be an alcoholic, and she's, keyword in that is used to, and I'm so proud of Mum. If you're watching this, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I've witnessed obviously alcoholism and a lot of other stuff on top of that, which is hence why I've got quite a strong belief in being sober, and I think it's the best choice, similar to yourself. But obviously, yeah, your household was it's fine to drink. You used to do it with your mum as like a bonding thing, and all your brothers do it too. Did they support your sobriety journey, or did they think that's quite strange? Why would you do that?
Yes, it's funny because alcohol is so normalised and glamorised in our society. I got more questions, more kind of like, that's a bit weird what you're doing. Why would you do that in sobriety than I did when I was heavily drinking and taking drugs every day? I would, I could go down to, and I think wine mum culture has a lot to answer for this. I could go down to the school pick up my son and say to a group of mums, I'm tipsy at lunchtime. I've had I had a bottle of wine with lunch, or oh God, I'm hungover. I had a couple of bottles of wine last night, and you'd get a laugh, or you'd get like a knowing nod. No one would bat an eyelid at that. But you'll say to a group of people, and even, yes, my family members, I'm going sober, I'll never drink again. And it's like, oh my God, why? Why would you do that? That's weird. And it's like, have you got a problem? Are you ill? Or are you pregnant?
Yeah. It's the first
to be
question.
like,
Yeah.
So, yes, I've had far more questions about sobriety than I ever did when I was living in addiction. It was very easy to hide behind the persona of like a party girl or a wine mum. But yes, my family, some of them didn't understand. And, I would get a lot of, which was unhelpful, but people don't realise. People aren't trying to make it harder for you. But I would get a lot of, I really miss you not drinking. You are so fun. I think, excuse me, I am so fun now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might like to be in bed at 8 p.m, but catch me at 6 a.m.
I'm up running up mountains and shit. Like,
exactly. Yeah, I suppose it's what your definition of fun is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yes, there were many people that didn't understand and found it hard to accept my decision. Now, I think that's, one, because people just don't understand, because when you haven't got a problem, it's like, why can't I just have one? They don't get it. And I understand that, because I don't know why people who can just have one can just have one. So I understand that. And then also there is another side where if somebody else may have a drinking problem, and then you are saying, you were doing it maybe with them, and your lifestyle was the same, and then you're saying, I had a problem, or I want my life to improve and I'm going to stop drinking, that hits someone inside, because they almost feel, and I know this from experience, that you're attacking them and their lifestyle. So if they accept your decision to do that, then they have to look at themselves. And like I said, I know that from experience, because when I was drinking, I never wanted to be around anyone that didn't drink. I didn't want to be around the sober person. They made me feel bad about myself. I wanted to be surrounded with people who were doing exactly the same as me, or worse, because that made me feel better about my life choices and about how shit my life was. So that's, I like to surround myself with people who are doing the same thing. So I do understand that. But it was difficult for some people to accept.
Which is a shame, really. And I think times are changing, which is good, because I think, our generation especially, like, we've got friends now that are completely sober. You went on a sober journey and you're still fairly sober, to be fair,
I don't drink too much.
No, I think it's becoming more of a normal thing. Obviously, a few generations back, like yourself, like, that was so drilled into society, and be like, oh yeah, no, go to the pub, have a pint, or drink in the night. And it's like, no, like, I think new generations are starting to realise, one, it's too expensive. Like, everything's too damn expensive. So what's the point in spending money that you don't have on shit like that?
Yeah.
And instead you can go do some fun stuff, or even have a coffee or whatever, right? And also people are realising, oh, it's actually not good for me. Like, my body is affecting my body. My mental health is affecting my mental health. Like, I'm really glad that it's finally shining a light on something that needs to be stopped, personally. I think it needs to stop being so drilled into society. It's not cool. It's not exciting. It's not fun.
No, it's not big, and it's not clever.
No, it's not. just enjoy life. There's so much to life than just going out to clubs, going out to bars, going out to pubs. Do that occasionally, but go explore the world.
Oh,
the world is so beautiful. It's so huge, and there's so many cool people out there. Go, just be free. Stop drinking it away.
It's a big culture thing though here, though,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like that plays a big part. It's a big part of our culture. So I don't know how much that will overall change the outlook of it, but
I think the new generations are going to change that. I think more and more new generations like ours are now spreading this message of, like, I don't want to go out anymore. I don't want to drink anymore. It's not fun to us. Like, I think drinking will always be around, unfortunately, and obviously drugs too. But I don't know, the more people like ourselves shine light to it and have conversations about it, and the more and more new generations come up and be like, this isn't interesting anymore. And to be honest, I kind of hope it becomes even more expensive to stop people from doing it too.
Yes.
Keep bumping the prices up because people will
do what they've
stop
done with
doing
the
it.
fags. Hide them away.
Yeah.
Put them disgusting pictures
Yeah.
on them, because if the reality of what it actually was plastered over these bottles, you know, you walk down the wine aisle, the alcohol aisles in supermarkets, there is more alcohol, more aisles dedicated to that than there is fruit and veg. And they look absolutely beautiful. They are gorgeous the way they dress them up. But actually, if you put pictures of the reality of what that is, of people hungover, being sick every morning, the destruction that it causes throughout society and in families, what it does to your liver, the cancers that it causes, you know, all of that stuff, then would it be as appealing?
No.
I don't think it would.
No.
If we actually knew the reality, but we were never taught. And that's why I think so now, like you said, there's such a change in it. And I've seen just in this 8 years, or the whole journey for me, it started maybe about 10 years ago. And, you know, getting sober, it used to be seen as like a sordid secret. And there was these like secret meetings that people would go to, like we're under dark, like in like
underground, like the dungeons.
in like little churches. And it's like you just go in there and like, don't tell anyone we're here. And whereas now it's like, so being open and honest with your story, that's normalising it. So people don't have to hide anymore, and people are proud like that they don't drink. So they should be. And there's more importance, like you said, on going out, exploring the world, doing different things, sports and coffee, and there's so many coffee shops now which I absolutely love. Come on, coffee.
We love the coffee. Got the coffee.
We're into coffee now. Yeah, pick up the coffee cup, not the pint. So yeah, on the topic of that, I really want to talk about ClearHeadClub, and I really want you to go through the whole process of that starting, and at the moment what you're doing to help people with it as well.
Really, it started when I got sober. I was in and out of different jobs and didn't really know who I was or what I wanted to do. I came out of school without any qualifications. I went to work straight away in a pub. So I'd been going in this pub since I was 13 years old. They all knew how old I was and they let me drink whatever I wanted. At 16, they gave me a full-time job. They knew how old I was. Nobody cared. And I worked full-time in that bar. I went out to Magaluf, Portobello's, worked again in bars. And then at 20, I had my son. Then I was in and out of jobs, no qualifications, didn't know what I wanted to do. All I knew is that I was a party girl, and the only thing that I was good at in my mind was drinking, and drinking more than anyone else and staying up the latest. And so, yeah, if I did work, I was in and out of jobs. And then when I got sober, one of the things that really helped me in my sobriety was I started by walking. That helped me when I had a craving, and it got me out of my my environment where I used to drink, which was my triggering place, which was my home, my kitchen. When I used to put the kids to bed, and then I'd drink. So whenever I got a craving, I'd get out. Me and the kids were out. My son was on his scooter. My daughter was in a buggy. Then that walking evolved into hiking, then exercise, the gym. And I took a personal training course and I qualified as a personal trainer in 2019, my first ever qualification that I ever had. And then I started my own business from there. And it was a group exercise, one-on-one coaching sessions, retreats I held. And when lockdown came, I thought, oh God, I've only just qualified. I've just started the business. For me, it was one of the best things for my business because they brought out you can work one-on-one with one other person. Well, my Instagram just went boom. And I had so many clients. I built this big community of women where we could all get together. We were outside. We were getting real dopamine, exercise, community, outdoors, nature. And in Eastbourne, same as here, like in Brighton, we've got like the countryside, the sea, the cliffs. So we had it all there. It was an amazing time. And then as things have evolved, I started my sober Instagram because that was what helped me so much in my sobriety in the beginning. That gave me so much inspiration. Going on Instagram, which literally you have access to like this all the time, looking at people's real stories, how they did it, what they're doing now, these incredible lives they live in, which, you know, once would have been absolutely impossible. And it's like, wow, if they've done it. And so I started mine. And it was, I just called it, Sober Happy Tash. We'll call it that. I started it and I just thought, you know, even if it helps one person, and then it just goes to show you the human race. I put up a story. I had about maybe about 3,000 followers, I think. And I put up a story saying that I am an alcoholic and I once got so drunk that I shit myself. I was like, and if I can get sober, then so can you. Now, I've got such an inspirational story, guys. All of my other posts that I put up, you know, might have got about 50 likes, and this one, they loved it. I think I got about 5,000 or maybe about 10,000 likes and gained about 10,000 followers from this. Wow. And I was like, you lot sick.
What's wrong with you lot?
Disgusting. So this is where it is. This is the kind of content I've got to put out now.
Damn it.
I know. And then from there, I just, I gained more of a following. I started my podcast. I changed Sober Happy Tash to the ClearHeadClub. I started holding retreats for people in the sober community. People who are sober curious, who are already sober, or even just, I need a break and I need something to do. I want something to do at the weekend that doesn't involve alcohol. Oh, there's this group that we do hikes, we do retreats in Eastbourne. We've just come back from a retreat in Bulgaria that I hosted. We do like sober socials. We've got a mountain climb at Snowdon coming up in September. Hey. And so it's just about building a community for people who, like I said, sober curious, already sober, want to get sober, or just want to do something like authentic and real without numbing it out with alcohol. And that way you get, you find people who you relate to. And environment is so important if you are wanting to change your life and get sober, but all the people you hang around with still drink, and then it's going to be incredibly hard for you to be able to change in that. I think it's impossible. Yeah. You have to change your environment. And for me, I found, especially at the beginning of my journey, there wasn't much going on. There weren't sober groups, there weren't community groups, and so that's why I thought, well, I'll start it.
Be the one.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Set an example.
Yeah,
a good role model.
It's been absolutely amazing. Met so many incredible people, and even though, like I said, like 8 years into my sobriety, it helps me. I have to. You have to work at it, don't you? Mm. It's really easy to live a shit life.
It is. It is.
A good life. It takes bloody work, but it's all good. It's enjoyable. It's real dopamine. It's real serotonin. It's all of the life's real highs that we were chasing through gambling, through drugs, through alcohol, through whatever it is, like that fake shit. It doesn't last. It's not real, and it just comes with its own repercussions.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. I think once you strip it all away, you can see life for what it is.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Really
it's
is,
so beautiful. Yeah. And life's
when
great.
You unplug yourself from that what you've plugged yourself into for so long, and it becomes like you've got this beautiful, like you said, wide world around you, but you are looking through like the eye of a needle at this one thing that you've given so much importance to, which ends up you hold on to it, and it makes you feel so shit. And it doesn't only ruin your life, does it? It ruins lives around you. It really spills out into the people around you, and then the people around them, and it has real repercussions. And so, and the same happens when you change your life. But when you stop focusing on that one thing, and then it just opens up. I remember when I first got sober, and I was like, "Wow, is this how normal people feel?
Am I meant to be feeling this right now?" Start pinching yourself like, what?
That's incredible."
Genuinely.
Yeah.
No.
I guess it's because it's a freeing feeling. You've like
Yeah.
suppressed yourself so much in this addiction and the way you were living, and then all of a sudden you lift this huge heavy weight off your back, and you go,
That's
"Wow,
what it feels like.
I can actually see the world for what it is now."
Yeah.
Well
it's
done.
incredible.
Like, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
And
And you.
Yeah, like well done to everyone, really.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I
You're
mean?
amazing.
Yeah, look at us, man.
George, I want to ask you though, because you haven't had an addiction as such with alcohol, but you've made it an active choice to stop for nearly 5 years. I want to know a little bit more about why you stopped.
You're the reason, man.
Me?
You're part of the reason, yeah. I mean, we obviously spoke about this off camera and we know, but like for the camera purposes. So yeah, I mean, I've been sober for nearly 5 years. So October will be my 5th year, which I had to find out this morning because of this episode. And I was like, that's pretty
incredible.
cool.
Well done,
Thank
George.
you. The main reason of it was we wanted to do the half marathon. So while we were doing the podcast episodes many, many years ago, we were on a call and we were discussing about the half marathon. We'd be like, oh, this would be so cool. It'd be super cool to give ourselves a goal and a challenge and push ourselves in uncomfortable situations. And then Imran signed up. And then obviously I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. There's no way. That's too difficult. I can't be bothered to do running. Why would I do that? I'm just going to stay inside and chill out. And then you said, oh, no, I've signed up. And I went, oh, well, I can't be the only person not to do it, right? So then I signed up for it. And then you actually like directed to me and said, but if we're going to do this, we're doing it properly. And I was like, what do you mean by properly? And you were like, no drinking, no going clubbing, no going partying, no smoking this or whatever, doing all that. Sober, completely sober. And I originally went, no, I'm not doing that. I'm still gonna have a drink. Like, what do you mean? I'll go for a run and drink as well. And then we got off that call and I started thinking, I was like, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm not addicted to this stuff, but why don't I give this a little try? Like, why don't I try and stop doing it, cut it out of my life and focus on running? And to be honest with you, Dan, I've got to thank you really, because that is the best decision, going back to the best decision I've ever made in my life. Because I'm not going to get into it too much, but obviously previously, going back to my mum being an alcoholic, like there was a lot of alcoholism that I saw. It was very traumatic. And that used to come out a lot when I drank. I used to be a very emotional drunk. I'll either be super happy, super jumpy around, or in the bin, like properly sad, properly depressed. So then once I got on this journey of doing it sober and focusing on running, I started to realize my head was becoming a lot clearer. And I could control my emotions a bit more. I could control the way I was thinking, and nothing was irrational. The only thing that was irrational was me running 21 kilometers. That was the stupidest thing that I could decision that I could make. And yeah, from there I've just never looked back. I've never had an interest to go back out and do drinking. I've never had an interest to even sip alcohol again, because it comes back to that freeing feeling. Like I feel so free. Which, without sounding too floaty fairy, I see life in such a freeing way. I'm more grateful for things. I'm more up for doing different things. Like I don't want to sit in a pub all day. I don't want to go clubbing till 4 a.m. Like I want to get my 8 hours. I want to get up early morning, go for a run. I want to go for a walk. I want to experience life in such a different way. And I've always had that thought of like, I don't want to live the same life that normal people are doing. And unfortunately, the normal life is do your 9 to 5, go out and have a drink, go out on the weekends, especially our generation, like being younger when we were doing it, like 18, 19, that's all that's drilled into you. Let's go clubbing. We can now. We're allowed to. Nah, fuck that. I'm not trying to, I don't want that life. That's not something I ever want to be like. So that was another motivation, not only just to become clearer, understand my body a bit more, my mind a bit more, but also don't be exactly the same as everyone else. So yeah, obviously I didn't go down the addiction route, but I went down the more of like, becoming better.
I've got a question for both of you then.
Okay.
When you're like 18, 19 and you can start going clubbing again, when you can start going clubbing.
When were you going clubbing? Back when I was 12. Like.
Are we 19 again?
I think there's a bit of a thing of like the fear of missing out. So people might not want to go out and drink all the time, but their friends are going out and drinking, or it's the cool thing to do, and you get that sense of, am I missing out on something here? I'm curious on what you guys think on that.
Oh yeah, I think that's a massive part. That's what it goes back to, like, society, doesn't it? I think what you're told in society, it's been ingrained, like, from the day that we were born. It's everywhere. It's normalized. It's glamorized. We are literally told that you can't do anything without all these big life events like weddings, birthdays, graduations, retirements, whatever it might be, wetting the bloody baby's head. It's like, well, you can't do it without being pissed. But then we're just numbing our real emotions. You end up feeling like shit the next day with a hangover, behaving in ways that you don't, you're embarrassed at the way that you've behaved. You don't remember it. Why would you want to numb out? It's like, but that is what we've been taught, and we've been taught that, that's the way to do it, and if you don't do it that way, it's wrong, or you're weird, or you're going to miss out. So I think that is a massive part, and it's ingrained in us as humans. It's our evolution, isn't it, to fit in? Because if you don't fit in, you'll die.
Yep.
So in our brains, that's why it feels so uncomfortable. And but that's why being these conversations and making it normal, and having like different communities that don't drink, then you've got to find your tribe. And it doesn't matter if you're not going out and getting pissed and going home with a kebab.
I like that, find your tribe. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I was the same, because there was many occasions, and I actually remember it very clearly. It was always Friday nights that I used to get a little bit sad on, because I would load up Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, and people are putting stories up of them in the club. And I was like, obviously this was like early stages of when I was becoming sober, like, and I was like, oh man, I am actually missing out. Like, I'm so different. And being young, I was like, man, I'm so lonely and stuff like this. But then I realized, no, I'm actually home right now in a nice environment, comfortable, probably playing games, probably watching a movie or hanging out with my family, instead of spunking loads of money on alcohol. And yeah, and then I used to be so bad with hangovers too, so that was another motivation. I used to suck at hangovers. I was the grouchiest dinosaur ever. Like, absolutely not. And then you'd always order shit food like kebab and pizza, and you'd make it worse.
Feel
And it's just
even
like,
worse.
yeah, and it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Compounding the feeling of just fucking yourself up constantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of sense of like loneliness at the start. Obviously, I had great support network around me, like my family, yourself, Imran, and all these other people that we know. But it was like, when you're in a room on your own and you're looking at other people having a great time, you're like, am I actually doing the right thing? Like, being young and not going out. And I think sometimes I actually still occasionally get that of like, is it still the right decision? But then I shut it down so quickly and go, yeah, because of everything that I've achieved. Like, coming up to nearly the 5 years is such a bigger achievement than, I was able to smash 10 pints tonight. Do you know what I mean? That's not an achievement. That's pathetic. Like, that's embarrassing. So yeah, I think no matter what, when you start your sobriety journey, you'll always become lonely in a certain period. But then you'll soon realize, like, oh yeah, I found my tribe. Like, I can go hang out with these people. I can go for a run with these people. Go get on a call or have conversations like this with these people and have relatable conversations. So yeah,
with that fear of missing out as well. The tables turn, because when you're looking at the Instagram stories and you're thinking, oh, it looks like a good time, am I missing out? And you might have that kind of like, well, I wish I was there, or I wish that was me. The next day, they'll always wish they were you.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true. And then you're the one laughing, going, I had such a nice sleep last night. What about you guys?
Like absolute shit. And it doesn't just last a day, does it?
No.
Hangovers are 4 days.
Yeah. At least 4 days.
Yeah.
To be honest, whole week sometimes. It's actually pinnable. But yeah, do you know what? Just to like conclude that, I genuinely believe that I will never ever drink alcohol again. And even being at a young age, like, I don't think that's very often spoken about. It's like, I know for a fact, and I know you should never say forever, but I know for a fact I will never ever go to alcohol or drinks or drugs or nothing like that. That's it for me. And I'm happy with that decision. And to me, that it's such an easy decision for my life personally. If that makes you happy and you want to do that, you can do that. But for me personally, it's a no forever. An absolute no forever.
Well, we've seen you before and after as well. Like, we've grown up together. So I think the man you've grown up into now speaks volumes from that version of you as well. So you should be very proud.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, you both should. And do you
Thank
know, it
you.
must be so lovely for the both of you to, it's almost like a journey you've gone on together, but different, obviously. Like, I know it's not an addiction, but yeah. So that must be really lovely for you to have each other. And
100%.
yeah.
We both looked
You're
after
both
each other
really
as well.
proud
And
of
like,
each other.
you know, it's a congratulations to you too. We'll do it on camera as well. But like nearly 1 year gambling. And obviously I know, I'm going to just bounce it straight back to you. I know the man that you, when you were doing that to who you are now, and it's levels above. So proud of you, man. I'm proud of all of us in this room.
Proud of
actually,
all
you
of
know?
us.
I'm
Yeah.
proud of all of us. Like, and it just proves like having conversations like this, you're doing the right thing.
100%.
Like we just all got to keep going, keep spreading this positive message about you can get over an addiction, you can get over anything in this life, and there's people around that can support you without you realizing. So
Agreed.
Right. Go
big
on.
up us, man.
Yeah.
Love
Big up
this. I
everyone.
love this.
To live a happy and healthy and wonderful life without it.
Absolutely.
Because
Amen.
it tricks you into thinking that you can't.
It does.
It does.
I like it.
Amen.
Okay, before we wrap up then, me and George are going to ask one more question each. But for everyone listening and watching, where can they find you?
Instagram at the ClearHeadClub _. My website is www.theclearheadclub.co.uk. And the podcast is The Clearhead Club.
And
Everyone
on
go
there
check
as
it
well, you'll find like all the events and stuff that you do and all the retreats and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, go show support, please. Like, yeah,
If you could give someone who wants to start their sobriety journey one piece of advice right now, what would it be?
Don't look at sobriety as in you are losing something, because you are gaining so much more. So just change the thought process from what you're losing in alcohol and think about all the many gifts that you are going to gain in your life, all the incredible opportunities that are going to open up, all the new people that you're going to meet, instead of looking at it in lack, because you know really what you're leaving behind is a horrible life. And if you just give it a try, I guarantee you'll never look back. I don't know anybody who's got sober and been like, this is shit. I'm gonna start drinking again.
Great piece of advice. I love it. It's a good change of perspective, actually, because like you say, you do think you're losing something, but
Yeah.
you're actually gaining a hell of a lot more.
You're gaining a life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
thank you. That's a good answer. And my question is what is one piece of motivation / potentially like a quote that you have that is continuously getting you through what you're going through?
I use affirmations all the time. And so it's not so much like one quote that I use. It's a completely different mindset of. So I used to use affirmations all the time when I was drinking, but I didn't realise that's what I was doing. And I was affirming over and over again, I'm a piece of shit. My life is terrible. The world is awful. I'll never get sober. And the narrative and the affirmations that I was using were shaping my life, because it starts with a thought, a feeling, and then an action. I didn't understand. I couldn't see that that's what was happening at the time. And so now my brain, and you know, it's a little shit sometimes, and sometimes it will be like, oh, isn't life terrible? Like now I'm like that, no. And so I make sure that I'm affirming all the time, like the world is amazing. I'm bloody brilliant. I love being sober. And so for me, it's just affirming over and over again the life that I want to live, the person I want to be, and just how everything is incredible. And it puts you in a really great mindset to then live your life. And, you know, it's all a projection.
Great answer. Thank you. Honestly, thank you, Tash, for coming on today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, guys.
Really appreciate your time. Really appreciate your insight to your life. And honestly, thank you for what you do as well. I think there needs to be more people like yourself doing what you're doing. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to support as much as we can, 100%.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
But yes, if you did get this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. Please, all of Tasha's links will be in the description. Show as much support as you possibly can. And if you're interested in getting involved, she's very easy to get in contact. So yeah, please show support, send some love that way. And yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye.